Star Report. I'm your host, Star. Welcome to the show. Okay, it's Thursday afternoon. This is an early research edition, and my title is not trending, so I'm going to move at a different pace as opposed to my evening shows, okay? Should Black people still fight in the U.S. military? Now, many of us, for decades, have thought that that was a good thing. That was something to be proud of. Honor, respect, patriotism. But now, being the age that I am, having acquired the knowledge and the wisdom, I can look back and I can look at the data and I can ask myself and I can base it upon things by way of society and progress, if any, and I can have a very, very different opinion, and I can say what was the benefit, or what is the benefit now in today's day and time. I signed up for a selective service back in the 80s, like many of you did as well. My father, my uncles, cousins, and I've even got a nephew right now in the U.S. Air Force. Honorable men. My father was in the U.S. Navy when he was a preteen, World War II. I've got a huge poster of him right there. It's framed, 24 by 36. It's hung in my homes over the decades. What is the benefit now in today's day and time? Black people, whether you're ADOS, Foundational Black American, Caribbean, what have you, what is the benefit? Because this country that I love, America, certain things have not progressed. Certain feelings have not changed. So we can really take a rational look at this. I've got some notes here, not a lot, but I want to talk about some of the arguments for and against Black people serving in the military, historical context, opportunities, discrimination and racism, personal experiences, and so on and so forth. Let me say again, like I've always said, if you've ever watched my show or heard me on radio over the years, thank you for your service. For those of you who are still active or those of you who have served, thank you. Thank you for killing in the name of freedom. Hell, my cigars cost $16 a piece. Somebody's got to die so I can smoke that expensive cigar. Thank you for killing overseas, from 8 to 80, blind, crippled, and crazy. Thank you. Thank you for popping people's melons, splitting their wigs. Pow! This thing in America here costs money. I get it. I also want to point to the Amish. In case you don't know who the Amish are. Well, I've been a Pennsylvania resident for decades. And the Amish, and I hope that you do Google them if you have not heard of them. Passive, pure, and righteous. The Amish. Community-driven. Let me just go off of memory because, again, I've lived in Pennsylvania for decades. They have something called Rumspringa, where at a teenage point in time, you can leave, you can go explore life on the outside with the English, they call us the English, and you can either make the decision to come back or stay out there. Now, if you stay out there, they shun you. But there's no 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It doesn't work like that. If memory serves me correctly, Amish children go to school up until, is it the 8th or 9th grade? Troll babies, good afternoon. I'm using the Amish because they are exempt from military, operations or anything to do with the U.S. military. However, they do benefit. They pay state and local taxes. I don't think they pay into Social Security or Medicare. But everything else, they are exempt. The Amish. I've spoken to you in the past about the Shakers and the Quakers. Well, the Shakers were so righteous, if you will, they didn't even procreate. They died off. I don't know if there's like one or two still alive, but the Shakers. Anybody remember that? The Shakers. Hey, Deeds, are we okay? Spelling audio. Oh, thank you. Deeds confirmed. Yes, Amish children attend school up until the 8th grade. Yeah, the 8th grade. What more do you need to learn after the 8th grade? You're a man or a woman by that point. Go to college for what? To live and be amongst the English? To learn their ways of hedonism? So the Amish do not partake or participate in United States military, but they benefit. So again, with regards to black people, I'm asking, should they still fight in the U.S. military? Now, what they have done once upon a time, I salute them. I most certainly do. I'm going to play one video, and it gives you history and context as to how and why the black man and the black woman, don't forget the black woman, she's in that military. Don't let your images by way of social media lead you to think that the black woman has not fought for this country and died for this country. But I'm going to give you some context with regards to the topic of discussion. Again, should black people still fight in the U.S. military? I'm not too sure now. Was Muhammad Ali right once upon a time? Do you guys know his story before I continue on, before I play the video? Cassius Clay, who then became Muhammad Ali, was he right to denounce the draft? How many black people died in Vietnam, World War II? Oh my goodness, the Civil War, the list goes on and on and on. Here we talk about reparations. People are dead set against reparations for black people. Is the U.S. military, even though the military is a personal choice, doesn't that help the argument for reparations? We seem to forget that sometimes. Family members who have gone overseas and died. Oh, and let me throw this in here before I play the video. You know, overseas, for those of you who have been overseas, like I have, African Americans are treated very different. Do you know that? In China, they have problems with Africans, not African Americans. They have welcomed overseas in many different places a lot of African Americans going back to, I don't know, Paul Robeson, Miles Davis, and a host of others who have gone and shown them that not only are we going through it here, I'll just say going through it, but that their speeches have been held in high regard. James Baldwin, Josephine Baker. What's the black guy's name in the military who ran into North Korea? He ran to North Korea. Was he in the army? They sent him back home. I said, nah, go home. We don't want to beat you, cane you in public, give you 15 years hard labor like they did the white boy Otto, whatever his name was. Oh, they had Otto because Otto stole supposedly, remember Otto stole a poster or something out of a goddamn hotel hallway. They gave his ass 15 years hard labor and sent him home in a body bag. When we here in America had was it the second British invasion? Not the first, but the second British invasion here. Do you know what they had over in the UK? The Motown invasion and blues. They love Black culture, foundational Black American culture, to be precise. They love it. Myself, having worked in the record industry, music business for decades, I've seen and I've known many groups who could still make a living overseas. Couldn't get no airplay here, couldn't get booked in clubs here. But overseas, they could tour 15 years after putting out one track that had some type of relevance and significance, if you will, to the hip-hop one-time culture, which is now just a genre of total shit. Please watch the language when you call in. Just leave the cursing to me, okay? One last thing I want to say with regards to different places that welcome Black people overseas. And a lot of times they look at us in the military like we're crazy when we're over in other countries. Jesse Jackson was able to go to, I forget where, and he brought home the prisoners, yes? Prisoners of war. Wasn't it Gaddafi that either tried or he did give Farrakhan like $5 million? I think he tried, and then the U.S. government stopped it. I could be wrong. Guys, thank you for your donations. I'm going to try and get them on the screen, but let me just get all this out the way first. Thank you, Kid, for your donation. Deeds and I were talking earlier. She was reminding me of some people, Black people, that have gone overseas, and they don't have the issues that we have here. So, again, with regards to my title, should Black people still fight in the U.S. military? I'm not too sure now. I also want to say this. I don't think that you should stop enlisting. Oh, no. Enlist. Get the benefits. Travel. Oh, yes. Enlist. I'm just not going to go fight. Am I crazy? Phone lines open right now. Phone lines open right now. Masculinity Unfiltered. I got your donation. Hell no, the last thing a Black man should ever do is be in a position where he voluntarily relinquishes his order. Okay, let me get that on the screen. Thank you for your donation. I want you to feel free to chime in. This is a research show, okay? And okay, and someone else here, thank you for your early contributions. Let me get to the video so we can get started, and then I will take some of your calls. But this is a video that I wanted to play with regards to the history of Black people in this country and the military, okay?
For most of our nation's history, Black and white members of the armed forces were anything but equal. Then in 1948, a new law brought segregation to an end. David Martin looks back at the long and painful battle for equality in uniform.
Nothing would have kept me from being with you this evening. Because I and so many other men and women of color who have served this nation in uniform owe so much to President Harry S. Truman and to Executive Order 9981.
The late Colin Powell was only 11 years old in 1948 when President Truman issued the executive order ending segregation in the armed forces.
There shall be equality of treatment and opportunities for all persons in the armed services without regard to race, creed, or color.
But first, the man from Independence, Missouri, had to overcome his upbringing.
Both of my grandparents, previous to the war between the states, owned slaves, and my mother died an unreconstructed rebel.
This is an example from 1939.
Kurt Graham, director of the Truman Library, says the archives contain handwritten examples of his racist views.
He says, I went up to the Metropolitan by myself and saw Men About Town. It is a very funny show. The N-word steals the screen.
This is how he thinks.
Yeah, it had no hesitation, no compunction about using a racial epithet like that.
6 years later, as World War II entered its final agony, Truman was thrust into the presidency by the sudden death of Franklin Roosevelt. and found himself the commander-in-chief of two armies, one black and one white.
The war was a watershed moment in the process of segregation.
Charles Bowery, director of the Army's Center for Military History, says the 1 million African Americans who fought for freedom in uniform while being denied it at home exposed the hypocrisy of segregation.
It forwarded the civil rights movement because of the massive scale of service of African Americans in uniform. It just could not be ignored. You could not ignore the bravery of African Americans.
And Truman could not ignore the despicable treatment of black veterans like Isaac Woodard.
Isaac Woodard is an African-American soldier who comes home from the war, and he's dragged from a bus by South Carolina police and beaten so severely that he permanently loses his sight. And Truman, I think, just says that's enough.
Did you do anything about it?
He instructed the Justice Department to investigate. An all-white jury acquitted the defendants, and life went on in South Carolina. But Harry Truman was not going to let that stand.
Speaking from the Lincoln Memorial, Truman became the first president ever to address the NAACP.
There is no justifiable reason for discrimination because of ancestry or religion or race or color.
Risky politics for a president seeking a second term.
He has enraged the South with his liberal civil rights platform.
What was his political future in 1948?
He was on the ropes. He was seen to be someone who likely was not going to win re-election.
Days after he was nominated, Truman issued the order to end segregation in the military.
What was the Army's reaction to this order?
The Army's reaction, particularly in its leadership, was stridently against the executive order.
Truman appointed a committee headed by Charles Fahey to enforce the order. Records show its staff director warning Fahey the Army intends to do as little as possible and might have gotten away with it except for a black civilian who worked at the Pentagon.
An individual with deep understanding of the Army's personnel practices.
He's the Fahey Committee's deep throat.
That's a way to describe it, yes.
Roy Davenport is one of history's hidden figures. Using his inside knowledge to show the Fahey Committee the Army's response for desegregation wasn't worth the paper it was written on.
What really turns the coin is the Korean War. Desegregation begins in foxholes in Korea.
With all-white combat units retreating in the face of the North Korean onslaught, black soldiers were sent in to fight alongside whites.
What happens is that these units turn the tide, and the Army in Korea is on a path to integration because they have finally and completely disproven this idea that black soldiers cannot be trusted alongside white soldiers.
So wars are a forcing mechanism.
They are.
So the next war is Vietnam.
Yes.
Okay, I just played a video. Hopefully that will give some of you more context with regards to the discussion that I do want to have. And this is something I've been asking myself, honestly, for over a decade. A decade. Should black people still fight in the U.S. military? And let me just also emphasize again, salute to those who have fought, who have made advances and achievements. But we now have data. We have things that show us not only the contributions, if they have been honored, but why are we still fighting for recognition? Combined with the fact that many different cultures, groups, ethnicities come here to America without serving any military time, and they look down upon foundational black Americans and ADOS. Okay, let's have a conversation. Area code 629. You're my first caller. Good afternoon. Are you there? 629.
Yes, I'm here.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm here.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, I had just a couple points to make. I have a family that's a lot of them were in the military and have served. I've got someone serving every war this country's fought in.
Thank you.
I actually talked to you about
thank you.
A week ago, and thank you.
Yeah.
I talked to you a week ago and brought up my grandfather that served in World War II, and him and millions of black men going over there and not receiving the promised GI Bill upon return.
Right.
I don't think black men should be enlisting in the military because of the long history of America and our service to this country, and coming back and not being treated like it was for anything, you know.
Did you yourself serve?
No, I did not.
No, did I? But
no, I did not.
Did you sign up for a once upon a time for selective service?
Never have.
Okay.
Never have.
How old are you?
And a lot of that.
Last question. How old are you?
40.
Oh, okay.
40.
Okay.
And a lot of that has to do with things that went on with my family. One, my grandfather telling me about that at a young age, about he was proud of his service, as was my father, who served in Nam, but they had their qualms about how they were treated. My grandfather obviously coming back in that time from being a black man and coming back and still being seen as a second-class citizen after fighting for this country. And my father, due to Agent Orange, got cancer that I saw you talking about yesterday, and I ended up losing him 2 years ago to cancer. Agent Orange over.
Cut the check.
Agent Orange.
Cut the check.
Well, yeah.
That's where I'm at now, sir.
Gave him his disability.
Hold on a second. I want you to speak freely, and there's no rush here. I'm not saying you shouldn't enlist. No, enlist. But let it be known, hey, I'm well, yeah, cut the check, but I'm not getting out there on the front lines. I'm not getting in the submarine to go fight. There has to be some type of pivot here, if you will. The dedication has already been shown throughout multiple wars. Yes?
Exactly.
It's like an internship. How long am I supposed to intern? I've already shown you what I'm capable of. Cut the check now. Go ahead.
Listen, Star, we fought for our own freedom and then turned around and had to fight for the country that we came back to that still treated us like second-class citizens. So we've definitely put our blood, sweat, and tears on the line for this country as far as military service as black men. But I don't think it's been reciprocated how we were, done from our service for this country.
What's the name of that movie that Tyler Perry put out? Oh, my goodness. I forget the name. My brain is fried. Last year with the black.
I don't really watch Tyler Perry movies.
Well, hang on, sir. No, can you Google? Is it Tyler Perry film? Came out last year.
Let's see.
It's worth Googling.
And what was it? A military movie? Tyler Perry?
Yeah. About the beautiful black.
I didn't
queens.
even know he did it.
The beautiful black queens. Hold on a second, sir. There's 688. I recommend you watch it. Those were queens. Those were queens, sir. There's 688. Okay. When you get time, I recommend that. But well, go ahead and you can talk a little more, land your plane. I'm in no rush. I've been pondering this for a decade. Go ahead.
Well, I will say this. Now, my cousins that were around my age, whose father, they served, him and his mother served in the military. What they did do, and this is another route I would suggest men taking for employment, they got those government contracts and they were over in Kuwait for a few years and came back with, 100,000 tax-free from going over there and getting those contracted military jobs. That is another route to take outside of military service, but they went over there. Like one of my cousins was working on the tanks over there, and they went over there and made some good money. They planned on being there for a year, but ended up being over there for 3 or 4 years, and all came back with Asian wives and baby moms from over there.
Yeah.
That I guess
Fringe benefits that are owed fringe benefits owed to the black man. Thank you, iCrook, for your donation. I got you on the screen. Thank you so much. So, again, I'm not saying don't enlist. I'm asking, should black people still fight? There's got to be some type of at this point in time, acknowledgement with regards to what Black troops and Black people have done. It can't continue going down this path. I mean, I'm 61. I mean, there's certain things I'm just not gonna continue to be impressed by. Oh, the first Black person to do this, the first Black person to do that. Stop it.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I understand.
Go ahead.
I mean, if anything, they're rolling back those, what you were just saying, those acknowledgments. I remember at the beginning of this administration, they were talking about taking Black veterans out of the Arlington Cemetery.
Good God
So
Almighty.
it's like, I don't know.
I appreciate the
they don't
call,
even really
sir.
want to acknowledge those. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Okay. All right, Crook, thank you again for your donation. Okay. Guys, showrunner, is bread a silent killer? Bread. When I tell you I'm shaking like dice up in Harlem, at this point in time, every time I go by a fast food establishment, which I have no business going there, and I go to Chick-fil-A, the sausage, is it chicken? I think it's chicken, a sausage biscuit in the mornings. It's scrumptious. Scrumptious when you go to Bojangles. Bojangles has the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. Fire! But it's bread. Hang on a second. I got a few notes here about bread. AI Overview says, no, bread is not generally considered a silent killer. The phrase silent killer typically refers to health conditions like high blood pressure, carbon monoxide poisoning, which can be dangerous and even fatal if untreated without obvious symptoms. Okay. Then it goes on to talk about high blood pressure, bread's role in diet. Some types of bread, particularly those with added sugars, salt, or unhealthy fats, can contribute to weight gain, high blood pressure, and other health problems when consumed excessively. Well, what is excessively? Do we have any warnings on bread like we do have on tobacco? Growing up in the 70s, there was a whole big movement, have a glass of milk with dinner, because of the dairy industry. And we know now, because of the data and obesity and other things, adults should not be drinking milk. Anybody know the cutoff age to drink milk? Isn't it like 12 years old, maybe even younger? I mean, drink some milk if, with your cereal, but adults should not be drinking milk. Hang on, someone sent a donation. I'm going to try, guys, to get them on the screen. Bear with me. Professor Zoom. I don't have my contacts. Okay, I did 11 years as a military police. Okay, thank you for your service, sir. Kicking ass on 3 different continents. I was treated with respect, admiration in every foreign country as a Black man, and a trained killer. Sir, thank you. Thank you, so that I can ride around in my mint condition muscle cars. Thank you so much. Okay. The credit dude, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Okay. You're getting your eyebrows microbladed? Okay, good luck. You need some tips? Johnny Flores got your donation via Cash App. Thank you so much. Okay, 3 episodes are these episodes are my favorite, Star. Thank you so much. Yeah, I like to ramble in the afternoons about things that I talk to myself about in the mornings. Guys, if you're new to this show, I've been talking to myself since the 70s. And I answer myself. Some of the best conversations I have are with myself. Thank you, Johnny Flores, for your donation. And hey, Lydia, are you calling in? Thank you so much, darling, for your donation. So that's it with regards to the showrunner. Is bread a silent killer? Or we can talk about, there's a 16-year-old, I think. She was stripped in California. She ran a track meet and she did some type of celebration with a fire extinguisher. And I might play the video a little bit later, but yeah, is bread a silent killer? brain concerns. What the hell? Let's go to area code 917. Good afternoon. Please watch the language. I'm talking about should black people still fight in the U.S. military? 917.
Yes. Greetings, Star.
Hey.
This is Kafunya Star Rebel, also known as Kafunya Ife, friend of King Simon.
Peace, Queen. How are you? Peace.
I'm good. I really, first and foremost, I have to give you your flowers. Thank you for bringing up these type of topics that we should be speaking of.
Thank you.
And I have 3 sons, and none of them went into the military at all because I told them that with the way this country treats melanated people, they should not participate in that, especially with all the police shootings and whatnot that has gone on, the redlining, everything. I mean, this society loves Black culture, but do not like the people who present the culture.
Talk about it.
And my answer to your question is no, they should not. They shouldn't.
No.
You know, they should not start. You know, that's my feelings about it, because they haven't even received, you know, the people that built the country have not even received their reparations yet.
Yeah.
The Japanese have received reparations.
Oh, right.
The so-called Jews have received reparations.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And all the money that is going over.
If we're going to talk about it, we have to be specific. You see, Star will talk about it. You're talking about the Ashkenazis. The dark-skinned Jews in Israel get treated like nothing.
Right, exactly. Especially the Ethiopian Jewish people get. It's a big mess here, Star. And until America faces that demon that they have of skin color, we're still going to have a lot of problems. And the fact that, you know, they've been telling us that we should not go back to Africa because of Ibrahim Toure and what he's doing. He's throwing out all the colonizers. Not to get sidetracked, but there's a lot of ish that's been going on in this society, and I'm not for it. You know, I'm not for us serving. And with regards to the whole bread vibration.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, listen, hold on a second. I'm just asking because, you know, I had a liver transplant in 2008. I had to change my diet, my consumption. They took out part of my intestines. I stopped drinking milk. I can drink fat-free milk with some cereal, you know, stuff like that. But and other things. I had to stop drinking stuff that had fructose, corn syrup, and other different types of artificial sweeteners because it would make me vomit. So I'm trying to get over this hurdle of bread. It's hard. Yes, no?
Yes, well, you know what? It's by design. Because when I look at the labels, when I read the labels on bread, and it is difficult because it can be difficult. You have to be really, really disciplined. Bread is not easy. However, you know, sourdough bread, I understand, is better for the gut because it doesn't have all of the fructose and artificial sweeteners and everything in it.
Yeah. Corn syrup.
Bread.
Corn
syrup. You know, all of the things that affect our body and cause disease. And bread turns into sugar.
Yeah.
The starch is the thing that is the killer. Just like table salt. It's not good for us at all. But I firmly believe it's by design. And so they create these things and make a lot of money off of our sickness because diabetes, high blood pressure, and even cancer, I don't want to say the word, can be healed.
Yeah.
And they know that. And they get hundreds and thousands of dollars for, giving that, when you're under the dancer vibration. You understand what I mean? When
hold on a second, because this whole grain brain, topic, I just learned about this. Supposedly, grain brain suggests that even healthy carbs like whole grains can have negative effects on brain health.
Exactly. I agree. I make my own bread.
Girl, I'm scared because let me just say one more thing and I'll let you land your plane.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
When I'm in Walmart, I can't even lie. I go to where they have the Red Lobster cheddar bay biscuit. The Red Lobster cheddar bay biscuits. You ever tried?
No. It's crazy.
Don't do it.
I know, sir. But it's definitely by design. It's definitely by design. Trust and believe.
All right.
And for myself, because I like the bakes, the dumpling and all of those things, but you got to be mindful of it. And I'm doing my best.
Okay.
It's a whole mind thing. But when I'm making my own bread, I know exactly what ingredients are in there. And it's maybe less than 4 ingredients. And that's it. Okay. But when you read the label, and I agree with you that they should put warning signs on like they do the cigarettes. Yeah. They definitely should do that with the bread for sure.
Okay. I have to take other calls, Queen. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay. And I just wanted to say that my dad, God rest his soul, served in the Korean Army, and my brother, God rest his soul, served in Bosnia.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye now. All right. Who's on the screen right there? Piece 2. Is it Double O'Kane? Got your donation, sir, as a young black man who was lost running these streets behind dumb niggas. The military saved my life and helped me send all my kids to college with no debt after they graduate. Sir, salute to you and your family. Thank you for your service. Let's not get this twisted about my feelings towards those who have and who are actively serving. I'm just saying, moving forward, I'm not too sure if they should fight. Yes, enlist, sign up. But when it comes to, going to Ukraine or wherever, just, hey, whoa, that I can't do. But thank you for your donation, okay? And let me say salute to, is it Miss Derry Temple? Miss Derry Temple. Let me see if I can get your donation on the screen. But if not, thank you just the same. I think she said health and wellness, yes. Where's the homie? Let me see if he can call in. Supreme Well-Being. If you want to call in, shoot me an email. Just tell me what line you're on, what area code. Guys, let me say this again. If you have not tried the Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuits at Walmart, don't do it. You will be a junkie. Elevated Gamer, got your donation. Thank you so much. As someone currently in the military coming up on 10 years as far as personal growth, it's beneficial. Yeah. Outside of that, it's not beneficial. For my generation specifically, they have no discipline and aren't mentally strong. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Blade, are you tapping in, sir? Blade sent me a email. Looks like that. Okay, well, yeah, I'll get to that another day. Blade, thank you so much. I played a video, guys, to give context to this conversation. When you go back and watch the beginning, hopefully you will. You'll understand my feelings, But then again, listen, I've got one foot in the grave. Who am I? Hey, Evelyn. Evelyn says there's no winning without us. Yeah. Let me see if that's her right there. Evelyn, is that you? Area code 562. Thank you for your donation. Evelyn?
How you doing, Star?
Hey, good to hear from
you. You knew I was going to call in on this subject right here.
Let's go.
Every doggone generation of my family have been in every American war. Now, I don't know about the war for independence from England.
Okay.
But as far as the Civil War, World War I, II, Vietnam War, and to the wars that we have right now, you know, going on. Yeah. I've had a family member and my husband as well.
And you?
Serving in all those wars.
You yourself were in the...
And it's no...
You in the Navy, yes, Evelyn?
Go ahead.
U.S. Navy?
Yeah. My husband was in the Navy. My dad, 34 years in the Army. Okay. My grandfather, 8 years in the Army. And I don't know what my great-grandfather was, but I have also a tintype of him, a picture of him that I can send to you if you like.
No, listen, your pedigree is well documented. We have spoken before. I'm saying, you know, hey, enough. We've shown enough. We've shown improved. You know, cut the check. I guess that's what I'm trying to say here with regards to reparations and moving forward. You know, and I put the Amish on the table as an example. You familiar with the Amish, Evelyn, in Pennsylvania and other states?
Oh yes. Yes.
Come on.
They do not believe in fighting at all whatsoever.
No.
They're pacifists, and they feel like whatever God has for you, whatever God lets happen, that's what's going to happen.
Right.
As well,
inbreeders. Let's talk about it. Inbreeders.
Correct.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is this, Star. Every war, the only reason why the Civil War was even won was because black men and black people had to come in. Abraham Lincoln was losing. He could not win the war. When blacks start running to the line and was able to take up arms, the war was won.
Evelyn, I think we know all that with all due respect, but what about now moving forward? Should they still fight? That's the question here. That's the question.
You know what? You got that right, because guess what? We still warriors, Star, no matter what. It's in our chakras. Even though we are far removed from Africa, we are still warriors. And you're right, they can't win without us. They cannot. And that's just the bottom line to it.
Okay.
I think that we should do this, though. Just like in Israel, everybody in Israel have to serve at least 2 years in the military.
Mandatory, yeah.
Right, it's mandatory.
Well, hang on a second. You see, that's another reason why I'm proposing this question, because, again, I've been thinking about this for a decade, if not more. There's no mandatory military service here in this country, but yet, and so we've got people coming here crying about families being broken up, and I need medical treatment for my 7-year-old. So you can't deport us, but meanwhile, these are the people who run around spitting N-word out of their goddamn mouths. But Evelyn, go ahead and land your plane, because I got other calls. So I'm going to also talk about the 16-year-old as well out in California. Please.
Well, okay. Well, I agree with you about the people that's coming here, the ones that want to have something in life. I think that they should have to serve in the military at least those 2 years and prove themselves to want to be a United States citizen.
Okay.
I really do. Okay. You're right about that. And thank you very much for taking the call.
Thank you so much. Okay. Area code 646. Is that who I think it is on a Thursday? 646.
Big Elvis the stuff.
Hey.
Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg. What's up, star?
How are you, man? Good to hear from you.
Yo, great to hear from you too. I have a bit of a take on this situation with this young lady.
Okay.
It reminded me of the people that get stripped. I remember this woman that got stripped because she was in Playboy or something like that. It's like you won already. They can't strip what you already earned. No matter what they say about whatever she did, she still earned that. She keeps acting like it's all gone. It's not gone. All those numbers are in. You won. And that celebration now leads her to now everybody's going to know her name. She was just going to be famous in her little town for one season. Now, people are going to be looking at her saying, who is this chick? Right. What is she really about? Does she have any potential?
So you're saying it's all about the clout. It's all about the clout.
Oh, it's all about the clout.
Okay.
This woman didn't lose anything. This young woman, she gained. I think her father was a little extra. You know, he's all swolled up with the muscles and all that. But you know, it's gonna help. It's gonna even help his career. He might be a personal trainer out there. Okay. Who knows? Okay.
Elvis, how's your platform going? Premium Black News. You still doing it?
Yeah, I'm still doing Premium Black News. You got to tune into the Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg's channel. You'll see a few things that pop up.
All right. My main topic: should Black people still fight in the U.S. military? Any thoughts on that? Any military?
Absolutely.
In your family tree?
I don't have too many. My grandfather fought in the Korean War.
Okay.
And that's my mother's father. He fought in the Korean War.
Okay.
And let me just say this. I think anybody who's going to grow up in this world that we're in and you live in a country, I think you should be mandatory military. You should know how to take apart a weapon. And I'm not saying long. I'm saying 10 months. Something like that. If you're a citizen of the country, you want to be a citizen of the country, you're under 35 years old, you should go through this process of learning military things, like how to take apart a gun safe.
Elvis, I'm asking a specific question. Should Black people still fight in the military? That's my question.
Hell yes. Okay. Black people are the strongest fighters. Black people have stepped up and flown planes and dived and done so much for this country, especially during wartime. The last thing a Black man needs to say is, "Oh, I've done enough. Give me more." No, thank you. This is America. You taught us that America will dangle the carrot in your face and say, "What you gonna do?" So. We're not open for none of that.
So you're saying stop complaining, get in where you fit in, and just wait your turn. That's what you're saying.
Hell no. Who the hell said that? I never said that stuff. I'm saying.
Okay, listen, Elvis, I'm confused. You said yes, Black people should continue fighting. Can you give me some Give me some context. Why should they continue fighting if Black people are being mistreated by way of the military? Okay, you can get hang on. Racial discrimination is real. Please don't act like it's not. And other things that are just not. And I got a couple of notes here by way of opportunities, personal experiences, historical context. You're saying everything is fine. This is rubbish. Everything's great.
Colin Powell will disagree with you, Star. I don't know if things are great in any situation or any part of this reality we're in. But let me tell you this. To imagine that the Black man ain't going to fight for this country, this beautiful country worth killing for. This country is worth killing for. Okay. And let me tell you, the Black man needs to be on the front line and making it pop.
I don't think you understand my argument, Elvis, with all due respect. And Colin Powell is just one, that they have put out there on the front lines. He's gone now. You do know that, right? He's gone?
Yeah, I do know that.
So he can't disagree with me. He's gone, but go ahead and land your plane.
Oh, good one. See, this is why you run such a great show, Star. let me just say this. The black man needs to be on the front line and in the offices and the generals and the captains and have the keys to those damn things.
Okay. Great talking. Great talking to you, Elvis. Thank you so much.
Please.
Okay, all right. I'll let him land his plane. You don't have to see it my way. I'm going back and I'm looking at Muhammad Ali's position once upon a time, and you know, he was way ahead of his time. What a stance he took. He wasn't just the greatest boxer of his time and that period, but his political impact. Here we are now, even having this discussion, and it's not by way of, you know, any type of hatred. No, this is not about hatred. You can love the country, but it's you can still question things. Anyway, Lance, I got your donation. Good to hear from you, sir. Do you want to call in? Yeah, Brett, I've got a couple of notes here. I'm just, I really am looking at well, I have been for many, many years, my food consumption. And as I've said before, certain things just don't taste the same. Cereal doesn't taste the same to me. And yes, I'm older now. My taste buds are a little different, but the texture of food, processed meat and other things, and bread. Anybody want to make any suggestions? How do I get away from bread? Or can I? Can I get away from bread? Maybe it's not a reality. 1051 fam, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Salute Star, great topic this afternoon. I'm sure you see the writing on the wall. Wink, wink, okay? Can you elaborate, sir? And KR says, I appreciate the topic. Okay, thank you much. Plaque Father, got your donation. Let me see if I have one more video to play with regards to the military. Hold on a second. Or maybe I should play something with regards to the Amish. Wait a minute. I'm sure Steve Government Assistance. Oh my goodness. This might be a good video. Hold on a second. Oh, wait a minute. No. I never even thought about that. Hey, C, got your donation. Oh yeah. Muhammad Ali was the truth. Let me play something here about the Amish. For those who, you may not know who I'm even talking about. I hope that you do. What's the difference inside the Amish? Okay, that's too long of a video. Hold on, guys. Oh, you know, I'm sorry. I can't play that video. It's from a channel that I don't know. I don't know if that will be a copyright issue for me. I'll just take your phone calls. Phone lines are open right now. Deeds and I were having a discussion earlier. Deeds, what am I forgetting? Because you gave me some great examples with regards to. Okay, yes, I got that. With regards to Black people here from America, African Americans, if you will. Skylar Saunders, are you able to call in? Skylar is retired military. Any retired military want to chime in? We've had a couple of calls thus far. Amish, why are Guys, give me a second. Let me see if I can play this video without getting a copyright strike. Just give me a second. This is no, that's another website. That's a little crazy. Well, here's a breakdown. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on a second. I'm doing a bunch of different things here. Some of these videos, I can't take the chance with regards to copyright issues. It's not worth it. Evelyn, I got your donation. Thank you so much. She sent another donation. Okay. Peace Supreme. I'm not saying, again, I'm not saying they should not enlist. Please listen. I'm not saying black people should not enlist. You should sign up. But fighting, with regards to the discussion of reparations, does anybody put reparations on the table with regards to, sorry, I was responding to a donation. Does anybody put reparations on, pardon me, past military service on the table? Okay, someone says, sign up and not show up. It's crazy work. Well, so, again, the Amish, they pay taxes, but they don't they don't partake in our armed forces. That's crazy work to me. Area code 614. Good afternoon. Are you there? 614.
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, how are you?
How you doing, sir? Thanks for taking my call.
Good. Where do you want to start, sir?
As far as like the blacks fighting in the military, I think there's a couple ways you could look at it. One, if you're not doing nothing with your life, you don't really have any job training, any prospects. The military is a great way to get a lot of benefits, job training. The military actually invests a lot in its people. And when you get out, you really see the difference. A lot of companies, they won't pay. Agreed.
So we've been
training.
So we've been down that path. Yes.
So, I mean, it's one of those things. It's an option. I would never, well, let me start by saying I served myself. My dad did. My mom did. My brother is still in.
Thank you.
So I've got a lot of uncles, cousins, whatnot. And I would tell him, I would never tell anybody to join. I would never tell them not to join. You got to make up your mind for yourself. I think a lot of the bad taste in people's mouths that you hear is they go in without a plan. And they spend, especially when they're young, they spend a lot of time drinking, partying. They get out. They don't have a skill. I was looking at a video of a guy the other day, he was complaining about how when he got out as a field artilleryman, he couldn't believe he couldn't get a job. I was like, dude, what, you think you're going to shoot artillery in the civilian world? Like, what are you doing? So a lot of it, I think people just go in and they just sort of do their time and they get out with no real plan. That's where the bitterness comes from. But if you work it right, you can get a lot out of the military. And then I think another way to look at it is, quite frankly, especially if you're a more militant sort of minded black person, white people, once you get in and you start meeting some of these white people, like, and you can see on YouTube some of their channels that they're homesteading, they're talking about defense and overthrowing the government, and they're organized and trained and stuff like that. And it's like, if you want to look at it from that angle, like, why not go in and learn those kind of skills?
Yes.
I mean, for all the talk you hear these days, especially from left-leaning people, how scared they are of cops and how scared they are of the government, but they're anti-gun or they're anti sort of militia or something like that. Well, look, if you're so scared, organize, arm yourself, prepare. I mean, you don't have to be one of these people in the bunker somewhere, but own a couple of firearms, get together with other like-minded people.
Yes.
And if something pops off, you have some sort of defense. The fortunate thing about America, whether people like it or not, I mean, speaking for mainly, black people, melanated people, however you want to put it, is you do have the right to bear arms. Why not go to the place that, people like to say, oh, America hasn't won a war, this, that, and the other. I don't know. I don't get that impression. The last 20 years of war, like you look at Russia, they can't go next door and make a war and conduct warfare.
Right.
We were at war for 20 years on two fronts. I don't know where people get this idea that the military is broken. It's not. If you think we couldn't put ordnance on somebody's head right now if we wanted to, we could. I mean, even if you say that that's a loss, like if that's losing, like if we want the smoke, we want the smoke. So if you're looking at it as like a militant-minded person, go to the machine. Go see how it works.
Yeah.
Go where there's no other place to get the most advanced schooling.
If I can jump in for a second, you and I are on.
Go ahead.
We're on the same page. I'm not saying don't join up. I'm just saying the fighting aspect. Do you think that there needs to be some type of exploratory committee? That's a word that's thrown around when politicians consider running for office. Should there be something that just, mentally massages, black people fighting? Hey, we've fought enough. Things aren't getting any better. Things are getting worse, if you ask me. And we can talk about the internet a little bit later, but we're on the same page. Yes, join up. I have no problem. You mentioned people signing up and not knowing what they want to do, having no plan, drinking and drugging. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
I'm fine with young people having no plan, sir. Drinking and drugging and joining the military to figure things. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with, hold on a second. What I'm not okay with is the mindset that going to the penitentiary is a cool thing. So I just want to be clear. I'm fine with people joining the military, but I'm asking a specific question, sir. Should black people still fight in the military, please?
Well, if you're talking about joining and then say something happens and you don't want to go fight, I'm sorry, your sound cut out there.
Yeah, good. Say again.
Hello?
Say again. Your phone dropped out.
I was saying, if I'm understanding you correctly, if you're talking about, say, you can join, but then say something happens, don't go fight.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an option. I saw guys do that. Because I joined in 2000, September 11th happened, we're getting deployed. There were guys who backed out, and you're risking getting thrown in jail.
Yeah.
You're risking, stuff on your record. But I mean, it is an option if you want to do that. But then that also comes into play, like, well, how seriously do you take the oath and your dedication to that job, the country, the uniform, et cetera. And, some people don't, they don't know how real it is until it's about to go down. So, I mean, you could go that route. I mean, you wouldn't be the first person. If black people as a group, I couldn't see it happening because.
So I'm 61. I can't enlist at this point, to my knowledge, and even make that decision. But again, this is something I've been pondering, thinking about, if you will, and saying, wow, is it still worth it to fight? You're how old? And do you have children in the military?
44 now. Yeah, I've got 3 kids.
Anybody in the military?
Not currently, no. I only did 1 enlistment. I did 3 years and got out.
Thank you for your service. I'm just not sure. I don't claim to have the answers, but I would like to see some type of shift and change before I die. I'm so sick and tired of seeing, the first black person to do this, the first black person to do that, as if it's some great goddamn accomplishment or achievement in America. It's not. It's insulting to me, but go ahead, land your plane, take your time, no rush. Go ahead.
I mean, as far as whether or not you think we should fight, I mean, if you're talking about just from a straight up moral, well then, any of the wars people have been talking, Vietnam, whatever, Desert Storm, the GWOT, whatever, those can be picked apart from a morality standard. And I don't think that's necessarily somehow specific to black people. I mean, once you get into those things, you say, well, should anybody be joining the military? I mean, if you're joining under the idea that you're fighting for freedom, I mean, I think that, once you peel back the onion, pull back the curtain on all these wars, they don't make sense. So like I said, I think if I were telling them, are you going to do it for financial gain, educational gain, experience gain, or if you're a more militant person, go that route. But in terms of just the morality of it, I mean, unless somebody's really on American, the doorstep, I don't think that a lot of these wars can be justified in that sense. But I think once you get in the racial stuff, as much as people harp on that, it's there, but it's not.
Okay.
I mean, if you're really in a good unit with some good leadership, a lot of that stuff doesn't go on. And then when it does go on, it goes as far as you let it. I never got hazed. I wasn't a big dude. I wasn't the toughest. But a lot of times, just knowing that you're ready to go that route with people, they'll leave you alone.
Okay.
So some of this stuff I hear about people, did somebody call me nigger? Or did you punch somebody in the mouth? Did you stomp somebody? And I'm not saying I was the bat, but I was in the infantry with that. And I was in.
Can I jump in for a second? Can I jump in for a second?
Go ahead.
I'm not tripping now, nor have I ever tripped off of somebody saying nigger. I grew up in the suburbs of New Jersey. I'm not tripping off the N-word, but I am talking about a much deeper reality, with regards to fighting. And if you were to ask me, well, Star, who should be fighting for America? Well, the white boys and these people who come over here who want the benefits by way of the yield of labor from my ancestors, they should be fighting. Yeah, white boys should still be out there on the front. On the front goddamn lines.
They do.
Go land your plane, sir. Go ahead.
I mean, the numbers. I mean, white dudes do join. I like I said, being infantry.
Yes.
You know,
fight and die.
To me, there's five white dudes. As far as immigrants, I mean, it was good enough for the Irish, the Italians. You know, they got handed a gun and told to go fight. You know, the Civil War or World War II.
Fight and die. Die.
You know, it's one of those. It's almost like a loyalty test. Like, hey, we having problems. You want to be a citizen? Hey, here you go.
Okay.
And they do have that path. You don't see it that often. I only came across it once or twice, but we had a couple of Mexican guys who joined and they get citizenship. So there a program for that. It's not common, but it is there.
Okay. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
Fucking die. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the screen.
Why is he giggling? Let me get him out of here. What's he giggling about? I'm serious as colon cancer. Yes, fight and die. I'm going to kick my feet up. My ancestors were slaves for hundreds of years, and they've died in every goddamn war. The commissioner, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Join to defend yourself against white supremacists. Okay. Wait a minute. Here's the guy I want to talk to. Mr. Skylar Saunders, former Marine, yes?
No, always a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Pardon me. Thank you for your service, Skylar Saunders.
It's all good.
Where do you want to start, sir?
I have to disagree with you on a few counts, but I agree with you overall.
Come on.
I disagree with you on the fact that it does matter when you say the first black space, whatever that is. Okay. I mean, if it's an achievement and they earned it and it's written down in history, that should be noted. It's the first black person to do that because it's a different type of understanding when you say, I mean, I understand what you're saying too, but I think like with the first 4-star Marine general, that was in 2022, and the Marines have been over. It's going to be 250 years this year. So that's a monumental thing he had to earn. He had to achieve that. So, but I do believe that Black Americans should fight and serve and possibly even die. I mean, you sign up for it, you know what you're getting. They always said to us, "There's no draft. There's no draft." So you signed up. You know what could happen to you. I went crazy. I didn't expect that to happen. So, that's the reality of it.
Can you elaborate? What do you mean you went crazy? What do you mean?
I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I had a run-in with one of my superior non-commissioned officers. I was knocked out. They were giving me a shot. I went from Arizona to California and into mental ward. And I went to subsequent psychiatric wards, one for 5 months, which I got $23,000 for. So it's worth it. I mean, to take the risk.
Can I jump in?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you able to sue the military for $500,000? You say you got $23,000. What about suing the military?
Yes, $23,000.
What about suing them? Because
I think
hold on, because from from what I'm hearing, correct me if I'm wrong, you became bipolar by way of your service?
Yes.
Oh. Can you sue the military now? Hey, I'm all screwed up, and you take, and I'm not trying to clown you, you take 14 pills a day now, right?
15.
I stand corrected. I became bipolar by way of my service. I'm on meds. Why not sue them? Can you sue the military?
I do not think I can necessarily sue them. They can only increase your benefits, but I think I'm at the maximum. I'm at 100%. And if I could, I would. now that you give me that idea, I just knew that you can get a percentage with tax-free money every month.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the rest of your life.
Okay. I'm listening, man. You just came out of the movies. You and I spoke briefly earlier, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I did. I just saw the Phoenician Scheme, directed by Wes Anderson.
Okay.
It was classic fare. Classic fare. He's in a different echelon.
I want to stay focused on what we're talking about right now. We can come back to that.
Sure.
So you're saying Black people should continue to fight in the military, even though you've been diagnosed as bipolar. You take a lot of meds, but you've got other benefits that work to your advantage. Yes.
Absolutely. Dentistry. I get transportation benefits. I get I'm fighting for my schooling. My dumb ass took too long to get it, but I'm arguing that I didn't really know when I could go to school because I was in these psychiatric places. It would have interrupted my schooling if I had gone in. But now they have given me the right cocktail of drugs to take, and I'm very keen and aware on what schooling I want to do. So that's what I'm fighting for right now. But that's another benefit. That's what it is. I mean, it's like they say, you can go to school, you're going to get paid, you're going to get benefits, you're going to, your spouse could get schooling, your children could get benefits. It's a very well-oiled machine because we're going to be in war. We're going to be fighting our next war probably in the next 10 years.
But now, hang on a second, Skyler. With all due respect,
absolutely.
You've never been deployed into any type of action, right?
Never. No, sir.
Yeah. I'm okay with you getting your benefits and other stuff, and thank you for your service. But I'm talking about Black people who might have to fight. They may have to get down there in those trenches or be dropped off somewhere, or hopefully not Ukraine. But you're saying, yes, you should fight.
Yes, fight.
Okay. What about the history of those who have fought and they've died horrible deaths? Families got nothing, and they're still fighting for recognition. I mean, here we got presidents giving people acknowledgement from 40 years ago, 100 years ago. That's kind of a slap in the face, wouldn't you say?
I would say yes, only on the condition that they stop fighting. I mean, that's another fight. I mean, that's in a figurative sense. If they continue to fight the government, I mean, that's the best thing to do. Like if you see Medal of Honor recipients, they may have had trouble with administrative documents. There might have been a fire at the department. There may have been a switch up with the records. And that was in the 1960s when they were in Vietnam. They're in their 80s and 90s now, and they're being recipients of medals of honor. So, I mean, keep fighting. Don't stop.
How long have gays been fighting in the military? Outright and open?
Since the inception.
Okay.
Since the inception, they not officially, but they've definitely been in.
Yeah, I was about to say, hold on. I was about to say, openly gay.
Yeah, I would say openly. Yeah, openly. What was it? 2010, I think it was. 2000 or 2011, maybe, because it was Obama. Obama said,
Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there.
Yep. Okay.
We're having a good conversation. I enjoy talking to you. Yes. You see, back in the days, you were a quiet bone smuggler. With all due respect, you were a quiet. You were quietly hiding the salami. But when Obama got in office, he put the Medal of Freedom around Ellen DeGeneres' neck.
Yes.
And he cried.
And the thing was,
he fucking cried.
Right, he shed a tear, but not for Cicely Tyson, not for her. She said, "Okay, that's good for you. Come on, That's enough. And I kept it moving.
Come on.
But what I was going to say is, yeah, I mean, it's been a long running joke that the Navy is the gayest branch of the military. I never believed that. I always thought that was just a good joke. I mean, they're some of the strongest, and it's probably the mightiest. It's the closest thing to is the Air Force. Air Force and Navy are the probably the strongest departments in the United States military. The Navy controls the seas, and the Air Force controls the air. And so they kill the most people. They rule the most over the different spaces of the earth.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Are we really are we really leading technology? And when we say the seas, or is Russia still ahead of us? Because those Russian submarines, warships, and the ones that they aircraft landers. Correct me if I'm wrong. Russia has always been highly advanced.
Well, from what I understand, they've got Ukrainian drones, like the kind you see people on the beach or behind in their backyard. They have these same style drones that are dropping bombs next to the fuselage or the
no. Skylar, I'm talking about
yes, sir.
Russian submarines that you can't even hear them. You can't even.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Detect them.
You can't detect them.
No.
You can't detect them. So who's really controlling the seas, if you will? But go ahead, man. I'm not rushing you. I just, I'm glad that you're.
I would still say, yes, sir. I would still say the United States, even though you have enlightened me to Russian submarines. I was just thinking about their air power, but their sea power, I would imagine, is probably third, maybe I think, or second, maybe, because I think it goes China or Russia or China, and then United States.
I don't know.
And that from third to first.
Okay. All right. But you say yes, black people should still fight in the military. Skylar Saunders.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Yeah. D says it used to be called "Don't Ask, Don't Tell." So.
Yep. Don't ask. I went in under that because there were guys. You knew there's guys and girls. Especially in the Marines, the females were really on each other, and you knew it, and nobody said anything, of course.
But you're heterosexual. You're heterosexual.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Heterosexual.
Right.
Straight man.
Okay. Skylar, great to talk to you, man. What's new on your platform?
Thank you. I appreciate you for calling me. I was like, wait a minute, I'm about to watch this movie. I paid $57 for a popcorn and $60 for a hot dog. Jesus. And no, I'm exaggerating, but
Okay, man. Great to talk to you, Skylar. Thank you.
Great talking to you. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you. Having a good conversation. Should black people still fight in the U.S. military? It's just a question. What do I know? I tried to become a cop 4 times, rejected all 4 times. Hey, is that the guy from France, former military? We've spoken a few times.
Yeah, we spoke. I'm not in the military though. Never was.
Oh, okay. I'm getting you confused. How are you, sir? Thank you for tapping in.
I'm good. I think black people should serve in the military. I mean, I think the problem is, us as blacks sometimes try to separate ourselves from America according to how our ancestors were treated. And I think, we weren't treated that way. In modern times, we weren't treated the way our ancestors were treated.
Okay.
So, it's unfortunate that our ancestors were treated that way, but I mean, come on, why wouldn't we serve our country? I think it's a shame to.
Can I jump in, sir? Because with all due respect, I think you're coming in late, and that's fine. I've already said I have no problem with people enlisting. I myself and others signed up for selective service. I'm not saying.
So did I.
Okay. I'm not saying don't sign up. I'm saying I'm questioning the fighting aspect at this point in time? I'm just questioning it. Fighting.
Well,
I also put on the table, in case you didn't hear me speak, about the Amish. You familiar with the Amish community and some of those Quaker sects?
Sure. Pennsylvania, Ohio. Yeah.
They don't fight. They don't even enlist, nor do they have to. They are exempt, but yet still they benefit.
Well, I think, you know, the Amish is a particular case, you know. I mean, you know, that whole religious exemption, you know, I don't know what's that about.
How so, sir?
I think.
How so? How so? Particular case.
Well, you know, they've always been on the fringe of society, American society anyway. You know, the Amish, they live on, you know, they farm, they, you know, I don't know what type of benefits they get, but they've always been on the fringe.
Everything, sir. Sir, they get everything.
Oh, really?
Everything. Yeah.
Okay.
And
I think.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think also, you know, the military of today and the future is not like it was, you know, 50, 60 years ago during World War II. I mean, it's all about technology now. You have drones, you have, you know, missiles, nuclear. I mean, you don't have to go hand-to-hand combat like they did, you know, Vietnam. You know, I think those days are over, you know.
Okay.
And also your caller earlier that, you know, has all these issues from the military. How I don't understand, how did he get to this place where he had all these problems? He was never in combat or anything. Kind of weird, you know. There's something missing from his story here. You know, with all due respect.
You mean Skylar's son? Well, I mean, he's not on the line right now, so I don't want to necessarily attack him. But you said you signed up for selective service. Were you in the military yourself?
No, I signed up. I had to sign up at 18 years old. But you know, I never fought. You know, I had a cousin that was in the military, and it worked out well for him. He was in the Marines. He came out. You know, worked really well. You know, but me personally, no.
Okay, so you're saying yes, black people should fight. Are you yourself black?
Of course. I mean, I don't consider myself a color. I'm an American. First and foremost, you know, I'm an American.
Okay.
I mean, that's the thing. You know,
How'd you wind up in France? Your phone number says France. How'd you wind up over there?
Yeah. I'm married to a French woman, and we decided to, you know, raise our child in France.
Okay.
You know, but I'm an American. You know, so you know, I think I tell everyone that, you know, we have these brackets that we put ourselves in: black, white. On your passport, there's not a color. It says American on your passport. You know, it's that simple, right? We get it. We get respect around the world because we're American. It's not because you're black or whatever. You're American. You know, that title you know, it says something. You know.
What about the melanated people that are still here in the States, still dealing with, you know, and I don't want to just say racism, but, you know, the byproducts of racism that are still dealing with things here, and who are not as fortunate to go abroad and you know, live the life that you live. I would imagine you live a good life, and then that's fine. What about those people that are still here?
But, you know, so when I lived in America, I lived a good life too.
Okay.
I never experienced all this stuff that's being talked about, being racial profile and, you know, mistreated by the cops. I never experienced that. You know, I was always taught, you know, to respect authority. Cops say don't do something, you don't do it. You know,
Me too.
Go home.
Me too.
You know, I never experienced any of that stuff. You know, so for me, it's kind of weird, but hey, to each his own. You know, I'm not trying to diminish anyone's experiences, but I personally never experienced that. You know, I don't think we realize how fortunate we are to be Americans. You know, I mean, you know, when you go to another country and you're from America, you get respect just off general principle. People respect you. You know, so it comes with something. So, you know, I don't, you know, kind of weird to me. But hey, I'm not gonna,
Can I respond?
try to diminish.
Can I respond?
Sure.
I appreciate the
Sure.
call. I can understand what you're saying here. But now, at the same time, the needs of the many outweigh the problems of the few. Would you not agree?
Yeah, but when
no matter what you and I have not experienced, the needs of the many outweigh the problems of the few. So we see people going through certain tragedies and things where they're whether they're shot down like wild dogs or stealing and representing what some people would try to say is Black culture. I'm talking about the grand scheme of things. I'm just questioning, should Black people still fight? But land your plane, no rush. I just want to give you a little pushback because, again, there's so many personal stories. People can say, well, I never experienced racism in this end. I get it. But at the same time, there are instances where if you do the wrong thing, you can get your melon popped. You do realize that, right?
Yeah, but I mean that goes across. That's across the board for everyone. I mean, all the Caucasian people I know, they got to go out and work for theirs.
Okay.
I don't. You know what I'm saying? I have friends of all different ethnicity, and they got to go out and work. There's no one giving them anything.
Gotcha.
And if they go out there and do the wrong thing too, they get their melon popped. It's just, I'm not going to make an excuse for, like I said, I don't want to diminish anyone's experiences,
right.
But, the life I've led and the people that I've known, everyone has to go out there and get it, and you can't be, everything that we've asked for as a Black community, we've gotten in America. We've asked anything we've asked for.
Can you say that again? Run that back. Say again. Everything what?
Everything that we have asked for, we have gotten.
How so?
I mean, with the exception of
how so?
Reparation. I mean, we had a Black president. Come on, we had a Black president. We got Black lawyers, judges, doctors. I mean, come on. I mean, I would never.
Obama was African, sir. African.
Yeah, but me saying that I'm oppressed, in all due respect, I'm basically saying that I gave up and I'm weak, and ain't nobody stepping on my neck. Like, we're like the biggest obstacle. We step on our necks every day. I mean, I've never had a Caucasian call me out of my name. When I was called out of my name, it was someone that looked like me. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, come on. Let's keep it above. Let's keep it above now. Come on.
I appreciate the call, man. Whether I agree with you or not, I appreciate the call.
Okay, thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Mia Soldier Boy. Star Amish religion. Objects in the war. Thank you for your donation, sir. They will not join. You're trying to put a little spin on it. I appreciate your donation. They will not join, sir. They are exempt. It's not that the government per se says, oh, no. We're not going to let you join. No, they've made it clear since they've been here in this country. We will not join based upon their beliefs. Passive, pure, and righteous. Thank you for your donation. Okay. Who sent me an email here? Oh, my goodness. Okay, guys, I don't want to talk about Aaron Rodgers right now, signing a one-year deal to the Steelers, nor do I want to talk about the New York Knicks. Please stop emailing me. I spoke to one of my good friends yesterday with regards to the Knicks, and that's all I want to hear about these Knicks for the rest of the year. But thank you for your donations, okay? Let me go to area code 240. Good afternoon. I'm just asking the question, should Black people still fight in the U.S. military? Are you there? 240? Yes, no, maybe? Not we.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Just for a caveat, I'm retired from the Marine Corps.
Thank you
20
for your
years.
service. Thank you.
Um, thank you for your support. Myself, I think Black people still should join the military, with one caveat, sir.
Okay.
My children will not. I did my time, so
Whoa!
they don't have to.
I almost spit out my Foster's beer. Say that again.
I did my time, so they don't have to.
Okay.
They have benefits from me where they can go to school full ride, go to college, do their thing. I've endured a lot of stuff in the Marine Corps, racial, with my own people, bureaucracy, politics, and my children don't have to go through that. War, yes. Did a tour Iraq.
Oh man.
Served in Operation Phantom Fury.
Okay.
During Fallujah, battle for Fallujah. Almost got my tail blown off. So my children will not be joining, sir.
Okay. Okay.
But I do believe Black people should join if you choose to. I will be selfish and tell you, be completely honest with you, my children will not.
I think that Black people should. You should join. I mean, if I can, hypothetically speaking, I don't like to do hypotheticals, but if I were 25 years of age and I could sit behind a desktop and I could send drones, and to bomb a hospital and a church with 15 children. Okay. But if I need to get some type of rifle, and get out there in the trenches, nah, my people have done enough. Am I crazy?
I would say you're absolutely sane, sir.
Oh, please, come on.
I mean, hey, I don't see what the problem is. Hey, if we can save lives over here while protecting our fellow man,
right,
I'm all for it.
Yeah. I guess me as an older person, I've seen so much, I've experienced so much to the point where I'm just not gonna accept what are now normalities without at least having a say so, And
yes, sir.
I mean, listen, I can change my position as I get older. I have on a lot of things. I mean, I listen when people talk, when they call the Star Report. I'm listening. I'm not just doing all the talk. I'm listening, and I can go back and do research, and I can look at some of the benefits. I can look at some of the pitfalls of things, but I'm just not sure. You would know better than me with regards to the benefits, other than joining the military and getting health care and other things, traveling and things that can benefit an individual. I just don't know on a large scale if there is a benefit. But take your time. You have the final word.
Yes, sir. I know you don't bring up previous callers, but I like to speak on the gentleman that was speaking on Skylar Sanders.
Scott, yeah.
If that's possible.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, he was prefacing something about he didn't do any tours or anything, and he, why would he get benefits? You don't have to be in combat to injure yourself. For example, basic training, you can break your leg, or you can have a mental break from the stresses. Me being in the Marine Corps, that's the hardest boot camp. A lot of people don't make it out of the boot camp.
Okay.
So I just wanted to let him know that you don't have to be in a physical war to, be injured. Okay. And I'll land and I'll dock my yacht right there.
I thank you so much for your call. Thank you.
Appreciate it, sir.
All right. Guys, this is not a trending topic. I'm asking you to hit the like button so that the video will be shared. These types of conversations are things that I talk to myself about in the mornings when I'm sipping coffee, doing my light calisthenics, I'm constantly going through my library. I have a library. Going and cross-referencing notes and things like that. And some of these topics, I revisit them. Blade, I got your donation. Musk is kicking your boys. What is this here? Okay. I'll get to that later, but thank you, Blade. Someone sent me an email with Dr. Umar Johnson having a debate with Elon Musk's father, but the audio was really bad. Anybody got a link where there's some good audio? Please send it to me via email, okay? $1051 fam, I got your donation. Guys, at the top of the live chat should be the Streamlabs link. You can also use a credit card there, a debit card, or PayPal if you want to make a donation to the show. These afternoon shows, I'm going to be honest with you, they do need your support. My usual audience at night, they want trending topics. But when we discuss things like this that are more, engaging, if you will, I do need your support. I'm asking you that. Okay. I'm coming back to the phones here. Give me a second. Someone sent in a donation. The only benefit to being in the military for black folk is the benefits. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. Yeah. Sign up, enlist, travel the world. Okay. Deeds says the link is there at the top of the chat. Thank you so much, Deeds. Guys, www.dollpimp.com. Whoa, have I got a contest for you. And George is going to call in, not today, possibly tomorrow or Friday. In my community section, let me go there right now. I got a contest for you where you can get yourself a free companionship doll. I got one right here. I have to get some type of stand to put the head on, but the skin, it's damn near lifelike. I haven't given her a name yet, but just give me a chance. I have to find some stand to put the head on. But in the community section, it's the very top post. There's a Instagram page for Doll Pimp. And if you go to their IG page and leave a funny comment, you can get yourself a free doll, okay? Again, www.dollpimp.com. That's the website. But again, in my community section, you can get an AI love doll, realistic and ready to deliver. They want you, well, you have to be 18 years or older. Let me just say that first and foremost, and leave a comment at the link right there. Again, it's the top post in my community section. Please take advantage of that and let me know how you made out, okay? Let me go to area code 809. Hey there, good afternoon. Please watch the language. We're having a discussion. Should black people still fight in the U.S. military? Are you there? 809?
Yes, I'm here live. I'm
Yes,
here
sir.
live.
How are you?
This Romeo, I'm all right. How you doing?
Good. It's a little loud in the background, sir. Can you make the adjustments, please?
Okay, yeah, definitely. How's that? That's better?
It's okay. Where you calling from, sir?
I'm calling from Dominican, the good state, the good country of Dominican Republic. I'm in my house over here. I'm American. No?
Okay.
I'm an American citizen.
What's cracking, sir?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I think blacks should serve in the military more than benefits. I think that the question is a little snide, but the answer is not. I think we should serve in the military to show America that we can defend against foreign invasion and that we have the same aptitude and potential of any race. We have the same aptitude and we can do and operate in any role as they can. And I feel that if we can join the Crips and the Bloods, I think that we should consider highly joining the military. More than the benefits, though, because I heard you talking about the benefits. I think that we should show that our race is above and beyond, above what we have been stereotyped, and that we should serve in a military role, that we could serve in a military role as advisors, CIA, troops, frontline people, and all that. My father was in Vietnam, right? And he told me a story in the 60s.
Okay.
And he told me a story. In Vietnam, they gave him a 9mm, no training, and threw him in the front line, right? So my father's Irish and black. So his platoon, he fell in a tar pit in Vietnam. And all his platoon got shot up by the Vietnamese. He lived because he fell in this big hole of tar. So when a rescue unit came to save him, they saved him, drew him out he was in the infirmary. You know what I'm saying? He was burnt up.
Okay.
So in the infirmary, the colonel of the Marines came to him and said, of everybody you live, because my father's like light skinned with freckles, but they know he's black, half black or whatever. So he said, yeah. And the guy looked at him as in surprise, like, how could you outwit the Vietnamese and all these other white boys and whatever died in the military? How could you live that? Oh, you think he even told my father something like this. You think you special? Go out right now and go back in the line. So it just shows how sometimes, even in the military, they feel because of color, their prejudices, that we do not have the same abilities. We should not join the military to prove white people are wrong. We should join the military to invest our abilities to help this country be better, and to also learn about our culture too, and also to benefit our country, not just for benefits. I mean, you could do Walmart and join the union and get benefits, but I think that we should join the government. There's other benefits to it, and we can do the job just as any man can. You know, I mean, if we could.
Can I jump in?
A lot of dudes in the Crips and the Bloods. Why you can't join the Marines? Why you can't join the?
Can I jump in, sir? Can I jump in? Can I jump in?
Yeah, of course. It's your show.
Salute to your father, first and foremost. Salute to your father, okay? I'm not saying don't join. I'm saying, enlist. I'm saying it's owed. It's owed to black people, not just black men, black women. How did you?
But you're just throwing benefits at people. There's more reasons. We have to ask.
Hang on, sir. If I can respond, I'll let you speak. If I can respond. How did you wind up in Dominican Republic?
Oh, because I was a stockbroker. I'm a nurse now because of what happened in the World Trade Center in 9/11. I changed my profession. I'm a nurse. And how I became in the Dominican Republic was I started traveling all around the world, met a girl, got her pregnant, and I bought a house in DR.
I just wanted to make sure that you're not on the run. You're not on the run respectfully. Okay.
See, that's a prejudice, though. See that? That's a snide remark.
Yes.
That's a prejudice.
Yes, but hang on.
You know what somebody told me when I was a
sir, if I can respond, give me a second.
Here.
I'll let you. Sir, if I can respond, I'll let you land your plane.
Yeah. But that's snide, though. I just wanted to let you know I recognize the snide talk.
Sir, I'm a product of America. Yes, it's all condescending, cynical, and all the other stuff. So with
it's not.
Yes. So with regards to signing up, yes, I think you should. I'm not saying that, but with regards to fighting, you're saying yes, continue fighting. You gave a great story about your father. Again, salute to your father. You're saying that you're going to have to keep proving yourself. That there's no limit to how long one should prove themselves. So you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is you should not, with the motive to prove, okay, I'm going to join the military to help and defend America against its enemies, and I'm black, I'm going to show them what
foreign and domestic.
Don't do that. Go into a sense of your own personal sacrifice, your own personal decision, not based upon proving anything to anybody. You don't have to prove anything to only God. You know what I'm saying? Go into it with a balanced motive, not to prove anything to anyone. Because
sir, I'm talking about the collective.
To some people.
Sir, respectfully, I'm talking about the collective. I'm talking about a movement that would benefit the masses, not individuals, the masses. But go ahead and land your plane. I appreciate the call. Go ahead. You have the floor, sir. You have the floor.
Oh, Okay. You're saying the collective.
Yeah.
You have to remember the collective is the sum of the individual. You can't just say collective like, oh, the collective. The collective is a sum of individual sacrifices, individual participations. So when I'm saying that to you is the individual participations that sum up equals the collective. So that's what I'm saying. It starts at the base, the motive. Where you start at in the military as a motive. Okay, I want to help my country. Okay, there's some benefits on the side. That may play a part too. Yeah. But the basic is because you're putting your life on the line. You never know when you're going to be called to the front line. So you want to do this as a sacrifice for yourself. And black people should do that. Because we have the potential, we have the capabilities of doing anything. Look at Colin Powell. Look at this guy.
He's gone, sir. Colin Powell's gone, sir. So he's gone.
Yeah. And the other guy that was the head of the security for Biden, the whole military. Look at him. He was a black man with glasses. Yeah. So we can do it. We can do the job. I think that we should do it. I think that there's enough Bloods and Crips to go around. I think there's enough gang members, hoodlums, people that think they OGs. I think the military is also a very good option as well. And
I hate to cut your wisdom short, sir, but we've got a staticky noise. Your point is well taken. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, okay. You've been on hold for a while. I thank you for being patient. Are you ready? 857.
Peace Star, Supreme Well-Being in the building.
Hey, man.
Plant-based away.
Listen, just send me an email when you're in the queue. I don't want you holding on that long. Let me get your information on the screen here. Good to talk.
Oh, yeah, the 8. Absolutely, brother. Yeah, 857. You know that's me.
Supreme. Well, please don't call me brother. We're doing good, but please don't call me brother, man.
No, okay. So yeah, let's get straight to the topic though, because Carter G. Woodson, I'm hearing a lot of had a good quote. He said, the miseducation of the Negro. Okay, we got to fight. We got a domestic war going on right here. Now, first of all, let me say I'm not opposed to the benefits of the military at all. I believe that they target impoverished areas, impoverished mind states, and a lot of us are in a condition to where we need to get these benefits of the military as black men. Absolutely. So yes, go for it, black men. But as far as fighting, brothers, the enemy, you are behind enemy lines. The war has already been declared on you.
Let's go.
But so you want to go over here, overseas? What did the note say in there? Black man, this is not your war. What are you over here fighting for? You don't even have liberation in your own country. You telling me America get respect, and that's a belief of a false illusion of liberty, justice for all. That's a false illusion. That is not respect, brother. You want to be respected for colonizing other countries, for dropping bombs on other brown people. You want to get you get respect for having military bases in all these other countries and none here. You want to get respect for people dying in cobalt mines.
I gotta jump in, guys. I'm talking to mysupremewellbeing.com on the phone right now, and you're spitting facts right now. Tamir Rice smoked before they could even give him a chance to put the goddamn gun down. But I saw two little white boys, and I saw everybody saying, "Put the gun down, baby. Put the gun." You know what I'm talking about? A lot, like last month, two little white boys playing with the gun. The police said, "Well, I don't want to shoot you, but please, son, put it down." But Tamir Rice, they took him out of here. What's the black woman's name? Shot her in the head over the goddamn pot on the stove. All she said all she said was, "I rebuke you," and then he shot her. Damn, come on, you're cooking. Come on.
I rebuke you in the name.
The name of Jesus.
In the name of the white image of they call Jesus that colonized what? And that condition still carries on in the way. Now, don't get me. I am not devaluing my brothers that served in the military. I think it's a good way to learn tactics, to be like the Quakers. Start your own sovereign land. Right. Start your own military system to protect your own people. You can learn something. If you're going to learn something from that damn pale face. Learn something from them. and fight and get your own sovereign space as a people. Talking about, I'm an American. No, you not. No, you not. When have you ever been accepted as being an American? Black man? When? Or when they threw you a little piece. They threw you a little piece of something. A little piece of what was called freedom. You know what, Star? I'm going to tell you some people, they think slaves ran north for freedom. No, they did. They did. The slave, they ran north for the freedom, but they ran south to the gullies for independence and sovereignty. And that's the condition and how they see people don't even know about the sovereignty and independence that was in the South, in the gullies, in Watermelon Town, Negro Fort, the real sovereign states like the Quakers got. The Quakers have this. You just said it, Star. Yeah. You just broke it down for them. You be dropping these hidden bars and jewels that people don't even be getting. They don't even be catching it. You know what I'm saying? We can do the same thing with the same training. That training that you got in the military, I apply all my brothers that fought on them too. I'm sorry y'all got that PSD from it, but I promise you that training y'all got, the military tactics, the way to aim that sniper, to hit that target. Yeah, I love all of that. Now let's redirect that. Let's redirect that.
Can I ask you to hold on 1 second? Hold on 1 second. Janet, you're up next. Sit tight, Janet. I'm sorry for the delay. Hold on, Janet. Let's go back to you for a second. MySupremeWellbeing.com. I don't mean to cut your wisdom short, but I need to ask you because I'm shaking like dice. I'm shaking like dice up in Harlem. Bread is a silent killer? Please.
Oh man. Listen, let me tell you, I just did a fast, no processed food, no sugar. So the bread, the wheat belly. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the wheat belly, but the wheat belly was a scientific experiment from agricultural scientists and farmers. They changed the wheat, they genetically changed the wheat to mass produce it to feed people across the country. This has killed our microbiome. The bread that we're eating, it's not even bread, y'all.
Right.
This is not even bread that we're eating. Yeah. These are chemicals, neurotoxic chemicals mixed with yeast and other things, and gluten. Right. That's potent. And this is the war within what we call America is what you see Robert F. Kennedy, what you see him trying to stop all these additives and neurochemicals and GMOs and these parasites building in the human. All the Americans are suffering from candida. The westernized diet is causing candida, the inflammation of the gut, causing us to think and be easily conditioned into thinking that we're not in a war right now, in a revolutionized war right now with food psychology.
If I can jump in.
The bread is...
If I can jump in.
Yeah.
I did the show the other day. Is cancer a curable disease in America? And I thank you for joining in. In the UK, certain breads that contain potassium bromate is banned in the UK. Now, most breads here have potassium bromate. What the hell is that?
Potassium bromate. That's like a nitrate. It's a carcinogenic. Oh, I want to say it's a level 3 carcinogenic. Wow. Cancerous causing chemical. Yeah. Synthetically made in a lab too. Not only cancer, but it causes neurological addictive activity in the brain.
It says nervous system damage, kidney damage. Oh my God.
The filtration system of the body, the renal system. And this is the war. I'm gonna consolidate this with the topic at hand. This is the real war right here. This is the real diabolical biological warfare right here, y'all. Okay, we talking about warfare on the Americanized diet, the way they want to feed you these chemicals, these carcinogens, and then tell you to go fight. You better fight for your life. You better fight for your biochemistry.
Right.
Yeah. Wake up. The human consciousness has gotten so low by way of these GMOs, these genetically modified chemicals causing intestinal dysbiosis, making you having what they call the gut, the second brain, right? I like to call it the first one. You go everywhere your gut go. If they can destroy that, they can condition you. That was a bar right there. Yeah. If they can destroy your microbiome, they can control and condition you. Because as you can see, they're making these chemicals in the lab to control the human behavior, the ADHD, the Alzheimer's, the heavy metals. Right. the shutting, the dialysis. Like everywhere we go in the hood now, what they building? The dialysis building. Tearing the renal system up.
Listen, I hate to cut you short. I got to bring Janet on. Did you and Janet connect? Because I'm sorry. Did you and Dana connect? Because Dana's going to be doing something on health and wellness soon. Did you guys speak?
Oh, now let's connect. I would love to talk to Dana.
Okay,
Absolutely,
okay.
we haven't, but
okay. I will put you in contact with Dana with the data because her and I were talking a couple of weeks ago about doing a special show with panelists and so on and so forth. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys.
Oh, Dana, yeah, we spoke, through email. Oh, yes,
okay.
we did.
Okay.
My apologies.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys, mysupremewellbeing.com. Go there and please tell this man I sent you. Great to talk to you, man. Salute.
Yes, sir. Peace, officer.
Yes, sir. Okay. All right. Great call. Hey, Janet, thank you for calling back. I know you got some words for me. Janet.
Well, listen, I think, first of all, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for your service as always. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's just a question.
I didn't do that. I didn't do nothing to get drunk for years. Well, I did a lot, but I just tell people that because I like to stay humble. But here, listen, this is what I wanted to tell people. I think the military is a good thing. Now, like all things, it has its good and bad. When I went in there, when I was in boot camp and you get in trouble in boot camp, they had this thing where they made us sit for like 72 hours without sleep. Okay. It was horrific. So when people say, well, how people from the military get this money for the rest of their life, it's because they were doing things like that. They were actually torturing recruits. And, you go through the thing with the smoke and everything, and that stuff gets into your body. It changes your molecules. You'll be messed up for the rest of your life. Okay. And this is why people get checks for the rest of their life. Okay. And then they go to school and you get a college degree and everything like that. They do pay for it. But here's the thing. It is an option, and it's a great option if you understand what you're walking into. You can't sit there and look at the marketing propaganda and think that that's what the military is. No, it's the opposite. You have to understand when you join the military, United States Constitution does not apply to you. You have no rights. You have no Bill of Rights. You have no amendments that you can fall back onto. Okay, it's the military code of justice. All right, so when you go in there, you have to go in there with two things, man. You have to go in there and understand that you're volunteering for something that you cannot walk out of. Second of all, when you volunteer and when you go in there, you got to remember you got to go in there and get everything that benefits you. So when you go in there, you got to make sure they sign you up for A school. The Navy, they don't do that automatically. I had to learn the hard way. Well, my brother told me to go to the A school, but then I had to earn my AZ. My administrative, Air Force administrative, not Air Force, aviation administration. So I had to earn that one. But what my thing is, you have to make sure you go to, and you must get something that is comparable out in the real world. So I worked on planes, logistically, physically, I worked on jets. Okay, but there's no jets. It doesn't compensate into the real world. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to get something when you go to A school, like if you was going to go, you go to something like information technology. You go for anything medical, anything that you could transfer into the civilian world. Because remember, when you're in the military, you're not a civilian. Right. And then also they have this thing like when you go into the military after boot camp, you become E1, E2, E3, enlisted 1, 2, 3. If 4 is the third class petty officer or whatever rank it corresponds to the different military branches. Okay. If you go in, you could make sure in your contract before you sign your contract that when you come out of the boot camp, 6 months out, you become the third class petty officer or whatever it is that ranks that's equivalent to that in whatever branch you go into. Okay. So this way you can have a running start, and make sure if you're going to do military, they put it down to 4 years, because after the 5th year, you're entitled to a retirement package. So that's why it's 4 years instead of 5. Okay. So you make sure you do your 4 with your extension of 2, if you can, if they allow you to do that. if you can do that, then you going to make sure you get a retirement once you reach the age of 62, or when you leave, you will have some kind of income coming in. Even if it's $5, you will have that for the rest of your life. You get that monthly. So I'm just calling in to let people know what's going on. So if they child or them themselves want to go into the military, what to do. You know, and as you go in, if you make your contract, whereas once you get out of boot camp 6 months after you get that E4, it'll be easier for you to get base housing if you have children. So that way you can bring your wife and your kids along with you. And then another thing, while you're active, the military pays 75% of your education while you're in the military, and every base has a college campus. Now, it may be a little brick wall, it may not be something fancy, but there is a college campus there, and they don't tell people about it, only certain people. They don't let people of color know. Okay. They pull people aside. It is politics. It is racist, but if you know what you're doing, you could benefit for yourself afterwards. So you could come out with your degree. You could you could stay in and transfer your degree over into an officer status. But the thing is to make sure if you're going to go into the military, make sure it benefits you. You are not going in there. Don't go in there blindfolded. Don't go in there believing this marketing stuff. Go in there and understand that one day you have to come out and you have to transfer to the civilian world, and you have to be able to navigate the civilian world again.
Let me jump in for a second, Janet. So with regards to my question, it's just a question. Should Black people still fight? Well, you gave a beautiful breakdown of the things that one can benefit from in the military, but should they still fight? That's my question.
Well, yes, but you know what? You got to understand, like with the military, the people that go into the Army, you're definitely going to fight. People that go into the Marines, you're definitely going to fight. You're going to have boots on the ground. The Navy is mostly transportation for the Marines, but now they're teaching naval personnel how to fight too. And in the Air Force, they're mainly logistics. They like the brains of the military. You know? So my whole thing is, yes, you should still fight because this is the only country that we know of. It's not like we could go back to Nigeria, Ireland, or another country and be at home. We can't do that. We don't have that opportunity. You know?
Well, Janet, listen, I'm not trying to go back to some place where I've never been. I'm American.
Right.
You know?
So that's what I'm saying. So
I don't give a goddamn about Africa. Let me be clear.
Right.
Goddamn.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Africa.
If this is the only country you know, then yes, you have to fight for it. That's just like your home. When you buy a home, you fight for your home. You spend everything and anything to be house rich and money poor because you want to make sure that you have a roof over your head and you have some type of security. So yes, we still should fight. If we hear and we gather the benefits, whether unequal or not, we still gather something.
Okay, now let me jump in. I'm gonna let you land your plane. I appreciate everything you've just said, but now you gave an analogy with regards to fighting for your home. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get exhausted, tired of paying the taxes and the goddamn HOA fees, you're just tired of paying this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And here they come to take the home. You've been paying a mortgage 28 years.
Mm-hmm.
You got a 30-year mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
You've been paying 28 years. You can no longer pay the goddamn HOA fees or the taxes. And they coming to take the home. See, me, I'm the type of nigga, I'd burn the house down and say, fuck it. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm one of them type niggas. No, if I can't live here, this motherfucker goes up in smoke. That would give me satisfaction. Now, that may be a long way around to try and make my point, if there is a point. But I'm there. I'm right there saying I don't think black people should fight in the military anymore. They have already showed and proved. How much more time do we have to keep showing and proving? Okay, land your plane, Jet, please.
Well, you have to understand, like, okay, so today, our president is actually at war with one of our civilians, Elon Musk. It's a big thing happening online right now.
Yes.
Okay, so today wars are not the same as yesteryear war. In some places you might have to go where you're going to get boots on the ground, but most of the things it's more similar to the Cold War than anything. You know, but if anything, if people have to if people are called to fight, like if they call me right now to go back in, I will go back in. But I don't care who's in office. What?
Thank you for your service again.
If the president,
thank you.
If the president of the United States say, "Listen, Janet, we need you to go over here, and we need you to set fire to everybody in here and leave nobody behind," well, that's what I'm going to do.
Thank you.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So because this is my country, and I have to have loyalty to the seal of this country, and that's what I'm going to do, regardless of what they do to me. Right. Because you won't believe how the agencies of the federal government treat their veterans. They treat their veterans like dirt.
Oh, I believe it.
They really do.
I believe
they
it.
have no respect, and this is coming from agencies. Right. Agencies of the United States, but I will still do that because that's the thing I put my signature to. That's the thing I swore to, and that's the thing that most importantly I gave my word to. So that's what I'm going to do.
Janet, I appreciate you so much. You have a wonderful evening. Okay.
All right, you do the same.
We'll take care.
And it's a good topic, Star. Keep it up, and everybody hit that like button. What is wrong with you people? Hit the like button.
Thank you, Janet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Your average logical thinker. Thank you for your donation, sir. Yeah, salute to the vets. Let's be clear with regards to my position. Thank you for your service. Drop a bomb on a goddamn church. Do what you must do. I only put premium gas in my vehicles, and that shit is expensive. Somebody's got to die overseas. Somebody's baby has to starve. Okay, I shouldn't have said that. That was fucked up. Hey, yo, somebody sent me an email. I shouldn't say this. I'm not going to say the person's name. The person's pretty famous. They're collecting donations for the Gaza, talking about if you can just make a donation to buy a bag of flour for Palestinians. I blocked the nigga. Oh my goodness. Let me stop. Area code 601. This is not a trending topic. Are you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Star?
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm doing all right, sir. I'm a vet as well, so I think it's a good option. If you don't have any schooling in mind, or you're gonna go get a trade or something like that, because actually, if you think about it, the military is kind of sort of a trade school. It's just a different trade school. Mm-hmm. But once you got a basic training in your AIT, you actually literally have a trade. You don't have to go, like some people think that the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, they just fight all the time. And it's not true. It's a lot of people that go in, that work in the hospital, they never see battle, period.
Yeah.
You got radar, you got X-ray technicians right now in the military, ain't never held a weapon or anything like that. You know what I mean? And once they got their job and stuff like that. So I think it's a great option. Or a lot of people hate it to hear it when you want to fight for America and stuff like that. But if you don't have any plans or anything like that, it's a great option.
No, so I appreciate the dedication, of people in the armed forces. I'm just saying at this point in time, moving forward, I'm a little, I don't know. I'm having a change of heart here, if you will. Do you have children in the military?
I don't have children in the military, but the military helps take care of my children.
Beautiful.
So
Beautiful. I just,
my son, my son's in college right now. He doesn't have to pay a dime because he uses my GI Bill to go to school. So, and then I also get like disability and stuff like that. So, if you get disability with the military, if you're married or have children, it bumps your pay up.
Can I ask you a question with no disrespect intended? Why does your son need college at this point in time?
Well, he needed college. That's something he wanted to do, Star. He's been in school like almost 5 years now. So that's something that he wanted to do. And like I said before, he's going to become an accountant. So we'll see what happens with that. But he wanted to go to school. So I'm not going to, stop his dream from going to school.
3 years ago, I gave a story with regards to a lot of major corporations now saying a bachelor's degree is no longer necessary for an entry-level position. They're letting people come over from developing nations and get jobs in corporate America. When I heard that, I said, holy shit. So the mind job and the programming that has been going on for decades, centuries, if you will, has been adjusted and shifted. I spoke earlier about the Amish, and I use them as an example. Their whole, philosophy, ideology, if you will, of being passive, pure, and righteous. And they are exempt from any type of military, training or even participation. I'm not saying, you shouldn't go and join up, but I'm just saying my question here today, and I want to make this clear. I'm just not sure that Black people should be fighting any longer. Maybe there should be some type of push and or lobbyist that say, hey, we fought enough. How about those reparations now? The millions of bodies that have died in the name of freedom. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead and finish up.
Yeah, like I say, I agree with you 100%. But again, that's just the option for people if you're not doing anything. But also, too, I think today I heard the story while I was at work about the Secretary of Defense getting rid of the transgenders out the military. And it's a lot of those in the military. So those numbers are going to go down. So they're going to need more people in the military in order to, keep those numbers up. And then, like I said before, the military has never missed a check. I don't think they've ever won a work strike or never had stoppage of pay, anything like that. So, it's done good for me and my family. So I agree, like, again, if you don't have a decision, if you don't have anything doing, the military is good. Just give them 4 years. You know what I mean? If you don't like it, get out, work for the post office or somewhere like that.
Bingo. Yeah. I appreciate your time, sir.
Because you have a lot. Yes, sir. But you have a lot of your truck drivers as well as former military people that drive trucks as well. So it's just a lot of stuff. Yeah. So I appreciate you, man. Keep up the good work.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Let me go to area code 443. Hey there. We're having a discussion. Are you up to speed on the topic? Should Black people still fight in the U.S. military? 443. Yes, no.
Yes, I am. How you doing, Star?
Yes, sir. How are you? Yes, sir.
Good. So, with reference to your topic, I'm a former veteran as well.
Thank you for your service.
Served. Thank you. Served in the Marine Corps back in the 80s. And, I went in the Marine Corps because, like one of the gentlemen said earlier, some of us don't have many options when we graduate school. College wasn't as affordable as it probably is now. And, I thought that was the best way out for me.
Yeah.
I only did one tour, so 4 years, but I had every intention on making the military my career.
Okay.
The Marine Corps was something that I appreciated what it did for me.
Right.
Gave me discipline, gave me a way off the block.
Mm-hmm.
But it was my very first encounter with racism. I mean, grew up in New York, but never really seen racism to the degree that I saw it in the military. And when you think about it, a lot of people in the military come from those same segments of society that, either, they equate Black folks with what they see on TV or, what they've been told. But anyway, I considered myself a good Marine. Never got in any trouble. Did my job. But I had a supervisor who, for some reason, and I didn't know it initially, but as it turns out, he didn't like black folks. And I couldn't figure out, why, in spite of the fact that I never got in any trouble, even my peers and other superiors within my unit were like, hey, how come, Gunny, the gunnery sergeant, he's an E7.
Okay.
It's like, how come Gunny doesn't put you up for any, meritorious promotion boards? He doesn't do anything to help you advance your career. And I was like, I have no idea. Well, probably about my third year in, my sergeant, who was my immediate supervisor, I guess he felt bad. He was a white guy too, but he came to me and he told me, he said, Gunny doesn't like you because you're black.
Because you're black, yeah.
And he said, Gunny told him, as long as I'm in charge, no niggas will ever get promoted on my watch. So after I got that word,
let me jump in right there.
The Marine Corps.
Let me jump in there. Racism is it's a real thing. It's never going to stop. But it doesn't hinder many of us. We deal with it. And to some degree,
but, in the military it's different because they have more control over your life.
Got you.
And
and that's what Janet said. Janet, when she called in, she said you have no rights in the military. So I'm listening to you.
I mean,
but if I can just fast forward for a second, with respect to the question, I appreciate your personal story. Yeah. I appreciate that. But I'm talking about on a larger scale. If there's a way for black people to truly benefit now, should they still fight? If there's a way for them to benefit now, personal benefits, yes, I get it. Colin Powell and the rest of them, and those are personal, individual benefits. But if there's a way for the collective, if you will, to benefit, should they still fight in the military? That's all I'm asking.
I honestly don't see how it's possible given the current Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth.
Okay.
I mean, if you've seen and listened to everything that he's done, I mean, that guy he's a white Christian nationalist.
Okay.
He makes no bones about the fact that he does not think that black and brown folks have a place in the U.S. military. They've said they want an all-white military. Mm-hmm. And if you look at all the things that they've been doing, basically erasing the accomplishments of black folks who've received the Medal of Honor, who have served honorably, who are war heroes, basically removing any semblance of them from the Department of the Defense website. He actually went to the Naval Academy in Annapolis and basically told them to remove any books related to racial equality, diversity, equity, inclusion, remove all of those books from the library.
If I can jump in right there, stay with me.
Allowed to stick.
Stay with me. I hear you loud and clear, and I'm up to speed on all of this. A lot of things by way of politics and government, I don't necessarily bring to the microphone here because it's more of a fast-paced, trending topic, world that we live in. But yes, I'm up to speed on everything you're saying. And that's even more of a reason why I'm saying I don't think black people should still fight. Damn trying to fit in and impress others and be looked upon as, something other than what we truly are, which we're Americans.
Exactly.
To hell with Africa. I was born and raised here. So that's a part of the premise for my question. Should we still be fighting? I'll join up. I'll get all the benefits. I'll let you talk crazy. But I'm not getting out there with a goddamn semi-automatic ripping shots. Nah, that ain't doing. Go ahead.
I think if the country loved us the way we love it, then I would say absolutely.
That ain't gonna happen.
But they show us that, numerically they may need our numbers in the military to shore up, people that have retired, people that are getting out. But other than that, they don't really show us that they appreciate the fact that, like you said, we are Americans at the end of the day, and we love this country. We believe in this country, and we're able and willing to serve. But then when you get there, you get treated like a second-class citizen. So, what's the point?
If black people love the Bible so much, and then you look at the Shakers, the Quakers, and the Amish, why don't they follow the leads of those communities, if you will? Those people ain't, well, the Shakers are pretty much dead. But those people ain't fighting no goddamn war, and they get all the benefits. Maybe it's a reach. I'm just talking to be talking. But do you want to land your plane, or you good?
I'm good, man. I just wanted to get the opportunity to get it out there. And thank you for your question.
Thank you so much. Have a good one. Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay.
Bye.
Yeah. Area code 757. We're having a discussion with regards to should black people fight in the U.S. military. Are you there? Area code 757.
Yes. So to answer your question, as far as fighting, so I'm infantry. I'm an 11 Alpha. That's my MOS, infantry officer.
Okay.
I was formerly 11 Bravo, infantry enlisted. So
thank you for your service.
I know the best. Thank you for your support. So I kind of know the best of both worlds. As far as being in the infantry, there's not that many brothers in the infantry. And I believe at this time, we're valued more than any other time than we were. Because, well, one, we just rank up faster now than anybody else. And there's a lot of benefit that comes to that. The reason for that is, well, specifically for this generation, there's a lot of just kids that come from, well, like white backgrounds that are just soft. And so when we join, we tend to be a lot harder than they are. And we tend to be a lot more practical. We learn very quickly, and they love us for our athletic ability. Now that may seem kind of just, our athletic ability, kind of like putting a slave on the docket type, looking them up and down.
It's very real. It's very real because slaves were bred, Yeah.
But
and it's also genetics, if you ask me. But go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. As far as like weapons training, we adapt that quickly, and so we're very valued. Simply just having a shaved face, that's like a big thing in the military right now. A lot of brothers, they won't rank up quick because they have beards. We have a condition where if we shave, we bump up and everything. But if you are someone that does not have that condition, or if you actually shave properly and where you do have some hair on your face, but it's in regulation and you look like you're taking it seriously, they'll rank you up simply just because of that.
Okay.
Just stay out of trouble. We have a problem with weed. Like, we always pop hot for weed, and they used to just kick us out as soon as we pop hot. But now they're still keeping us. So yeah, and there's a lot of benefit that comes to that. When I joined, so I agree with everything that Janet said. When I joined the military, they paid $50,000 towards repayment of my loans from undergrad, and now I use my GI Bill to pay to go to law school.
Okay.
So they're paying both my tuition and
Nice.
board.
Nice.
And so I currently serve now part-time, but I'm also a full-time law student. I'm about to enter into my third and final year of law school in the fall, and the military is paying for all that. And so not only is that a benefit for me, once I become a lawyer, I can now, serve my community, and I'll be debt-free from all my schooling because of the military. Also, since I'm infantry, there's a lot of like weapons training and just like tactics that I learned from the military that, just in our world, like, we love guns, but we really don't know how to use them like that, just to be honest. And these white boys, like, they are lethal. They are. And so we need to start learning those types of skills ourselves. Me and my cousins, we grew up with guns, shooting guns. My cousin lives in North Carolina. He lives in Currituck, and we used to go out all the time, just shoot guns. But since being in the military, I realized we don't really know anything about actual accuracy, just the methods of how the weapon functions, things like that. And
can I jump in for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
For a second. I have a theory that it's just a theory. I don't know any data or anything with regards to this, but I have a theory that black people understand guns. They just don't have the intention with regards to firearms that Caucasians do. They don't have the same intention. You've been in the military how many years? How many years?
I've been in 6 years.
6 years. White boys get off on killing things, not just other humans, but animals as well. They get off on that. Black people understand what a gun can do. And yes, black people shoot each other over nigger trinkets and drugs and fly clothes. We got that. But when you said we don't, how'd you phrase it? We don't understand guns? I disagree. I think we do understand them, and talking here in America, but they don't have the same intentions. Is that crazy?
I definitely understand what you're getting at, but so I think we do like guns. Like I said, we just don't understand the functioning of them, and also the training as well. We just like to shoot them. So with your theory, I definitely get, and I somewhat agree with. However,
the race soldiers, aka the police, they get off on shooting people. I'll fucking kill you. Put it down. I'll fucking. Sometimes don't even say police. Just put it down. I'll fucking kill you. That's white boy shit. Go ahead. I'm rambling. Go ahead.
That's true. Roger that. That's true. I definitely agree with you with that. But I would say something that we like, we also tend to take interest in learning about more, such as the functioning. Like if a black guy likes cars, likes to race cars, we'll still not just going to drive them like a maniac down the road and just race them. We'll get all into it, the tires, the type of tranny, the engine, things like that. We need to also do that same type of research and have that same type of knowledge for our weapons as well. And just like the battle tactics that we could use in order to shoot, move, and communicate, because that's what's really, the infantry, special operations forces, that's what we're all about, is shoot, move, and communicate. That's why we dominate so much. And we need to learn that if we want to be serious and not just know how to pull a trigger, because that ain't going to be enough.
With regards to the question, should black people still fight in the U.S. military? I'm not saying they shouldn't join. There's great benefits to joining, but what do you think? Is that just a crazy question? Should they still fight?
No. It's not a crazy question. I say we should. Like I said, I'm in the infantry. There's not a lot of brothers in the infantry, and we are valued in the infantry. And even though in the infantry we just get training on how to basically kill, we can still use the military in general to explore other things. It's hard for me being not that hard being a black officer, but the few guys that I have in my unit that are black, I try so hard to mentor them and point them towards the right direction, because they're good kids. Sometimes they bring in an attitude from off the street that could really affect them. They're rebellious in a way, and it's hard to keep them straight. And I remember just not too long ago, I was telling two of them they were about to get into it. They were about to fight. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, you're two brothers about to, fight like you're in the street and you're in your uniform. Like, here's the crazy thing about that. I would risk my career trying to still retain you, because they're going to try to kick you out. And I'm going to do every single thing that I can to try to keep you, even though you deserve to go. And the reason why is simply because of my skin color. I cannot stand for them to look at us and say, see, yep, I told you, they can't be controlled. I hate for that to happen. I got to sit in meetings all the time with people that don't look like me, and I'm our only representative.
What about?
And I hate that it has to be.
What about MPs, military police? Is there any data that shows blacks, or whatever the percentage may be of military police, or is that too antiquated?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you about MPs. I know a few MPs, but I've only been infantry, and honestly, infantry and MPs, we don't like each other. I mean, why would you join the military just to arrest other military people? That doesn't make sense to me. But hey,
Order must be maintained, sir. Order must be.
That is true. That is true.
I appreciate the call, man. Any thoughts on? I had a subtopic here. What was the subtopic? Oh, bread. Is bread a silent killer? Any thoughts?
I would say for sure. I think our bodies digest bread as if it's the pure sugar anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. I don't have the knowledge to really have a informing like opinion about it. But
nor do I. Nor do I. But I'm so shook now to the point where, you know, if I'm with a female and she gives me bread before the meal, I think she might be trying to kill me. But anyway, I'm rambling. Hey, Matt, great to talk to you.
Well, all right, thank you, Star.
Yes, sir. Thank
Bye.
you. Bread. Is bread a silent killer? I did have some notes here with regards to bread. Wow. Carbon monoxide poisoning. High blood pressure, hypertension. Okay, I think I read this. Certain types of bread can contribute to health issues when consumed in excess. Well, what is excess? You know, if you're eating bread every day. Grain brain. That's a new one to me. Grain brain suggests that even healthy carbs like whole grains can have negative effects on brain health. Sheesh. Guys, we're almost done here. Hey, Tracy, I got your donation. She says, love you, Star. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tracy. And, oh, thank you, Blade. Blade, I'll come back to that. I'm not sure what that's about. I think I just spoke to this guy. Thank you so much for your donation, sir. Here's my last caller. Area code 602. Thank you for your patience. This has been a research show of sorts. You up to speed? 602.
Right. Yeah, I'm here.
How are you, sir?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Where do you want to start?
Appreciate you having me on.
Yes,
and I feel very passionately that nowhere in the world should we go and fight for this country. Now, again, I do agree that, you know, there's plenty of benefits of enlisting. So if there was a collective effort for us to grow into the military, I believe it should be for that, to set up families for future potential generational wealth so the next generation can be able to have those assets and benefits that the military provides. But to fight and act as if there's some kind of honor behind that, nowhere in the world. And I'm getting this not only by what I think, but what the last couple of people that's been saying since they've been on here. We've had multiple people that's been.
Can I ask you not to go at other callers? I appreciate everybody's individual opinion. I'm just, you know, presenting something that I think about, you know, out loud. But you know, I value everyone's opinion.
I wasn't going to attack them. I wasn't going to attack them. I was going to kind of use it as a point of reference as far as their own words.
Okay.
Like they were saying, yeah, I wouldn't have my child go into there. Or they were saying, this is how they treat us. This is what they do. Even like, you know, it's hard. It's racism there. You know, I have to deal with these. I mean, while they talk about the benefits, they also talk about the problems in it. You know, so it can confuse people as far as, okay, so should I or should I not? If we're going to do it collectively, I feel like it should be strictly for the benefits. We should strategically do that.
Yeah.
So that way we can set up future generations, our children's children, for that success when it comes to college education and implementing, you know, new ways of building wealth within our community other than, you know, selling drugs, some of the typical things we do. But the fight, no. To get out there and to risk our lives for a country that wouldn't spit on our back if we were on fire, no. To continuously show this.
To hell with college. You know, after the 8th grade, Amish kids don't even go to school anymore.
Yeah, and granted,
what do you need to go to 9th, 10th, and 11th grade for? You're Amish. Your priorities should already be set in your mind. community,
True,
family, and religion. That's it.
true. Now I'm
college
saying
for?
that because because some people don't like. There's some people out there that have that need and want for what they want to do at a young age. I don't think everybody comes out like that. I'm not a big fan of college, but I am a fan of if you know what you want to do, if there's something in line as far as education that can prepare you better for that or make you more successful or, knowledgeable about what you want to do already, then seek that. Now, going just to go because you want a degree and you want to make your family proud, that's different. But if you go with intentions, if I want to build my own electrician business and I go to the trade school to be an electrician, then I go to school to learn business so I can run my own company.
Join the military, learn how to do all of those trade things. I think that's great.
Right. Intentionally, not just because I want to go to school, get a degree, and just say I have one and not even work in the field that I got my degree in. But with intention, I feel like it works. And I feel like if we did have people that enlisted and had those benefits for kids who do have those goals and they were able to do it and not have to go into debt to do that, we could really set our future generations up. But that fighting stuff, no. And my dad was in the Air Force, and he said the same thing to me. And it was like, hey, son, if you want to do it, you can do it. But it's not something that I would recommend per se, even with him serving, and that wasn't like the hardcore version of of the Army, that's not the one that's respected the most. The Air Force and the Navy are kind of laughed at when you come to the Marines and the Army, but, that's what he was a part of. I remember having a Navy recruit come to my school almost every day trying to get me to go in. And no matter what I said, he didn't care. He kept trying. I'm telling him I don't want to do it. It wasn't until one day he took me into his office and he was like, you can travel around the world and he showed me money from different locations, so on and so.
That's a beautiful thing, man. If you join up and you better yourself, I salute that. I'm just talking about the fighting. I mean, at this point, I don't see the benefit for Black people collectively. There's already a debt that must be paid. We haven't even spoke about eminent domain, taking Black people's land. For centuries, huh?
Yeah, right. That
cut the check.
Let Billy, Blake, Brad, Braxton go. Right? No Jamals.
I appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
No problem.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your donation, Mind Over Muscle. Hang on a second. Salute to you, Star. I joined to better my life coming out of Detroit and be an example for my younger brother. Salute to you, sir. Thank you for your service. This selfish life that I lead, this shit costs money. Somebody's baby has to die overseas. Somebody has to be blown the fuck up in a building. so that I can be the proud American that I am. Boxing Logics United. He says, peace, Star. Okay, hold on a second. I'll take one more call. Boxing Logics United. Thank you for your donation, sir. You're my last caller.
What's up, big dog? How you doing, champ?
I'm alive, sir. Thank you so much for tapping in and your donation. Where do you want to start?
Let me talk about the topic. The topic you have up here. Should Blacks still join the military?
No. Not should they join. I think they should join.
Fight.
They still fight.
Fight. You're right. Right.
Yeah.
Fight. I'm gonna have to say yes. Okay. And I don't know if you remember, I was in the Air Force. So, but here's the thing. After my experience in the Air Force, I've always made it a point and an objective that if anybody close to me, family, whatever, chose to join the military, I'll always urge them to join as an officer.
Okay.
As a CO, not an NCO.
Okay. Can you break down the difference for those who don't know? The difference, please?
A CO is a commissioned officer. An NCO is a non-commissioned officer, meaning airman, you know what I mean, sergeant, things like that.
Okay.
So the thing is, when you go in as a CO, you would get better training on how to think, how to strategize.
Okay.
And those things will correlate better once you get outside of the military. Now, if you are going to go in as an NCO, and this is from experience, sir.
Okay.
Here's how they get a lot of the young of us in there. You go in as without having a guaranteed job.
Okay.
This is the major thing that needs to be talked about.
Come on.
A lot of young brothers are going there, and sisters, mainly brothers, are going there without a guaranteed job that you can secure with your recruiter before you go in. If you go in open general, open medical, open administration, okay, open mechanical, you're liable to get, it's a thing called military needs come first.
Okay.
You'll get the job wherever they need you or put you at, which oftentimes will be at the bottom. So young men and women get a guaranteed job.
Okay. I'm okay with everything you've said. I think it's a beautiful thing to go get that training, understanding, that worldly view by way of the armed forces. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm just I'm not sure about fighting at this point. Something has to be acknowledged on a much deeper level. That's all I'm saying. But go ahead, land your plane. I'm just about done with this episode.
No problem. With everything you just said right there, if they go in as a commissioned officer,
okay,
or if they have a lot of youngins are going in there because they don't know which direction or where they're going in their life.
That's fine.
And sometimes the military provides that time for you to think, mature, to discipline a little bit, and to see other places of the world, because your experiences increases your level of perception.
Right.
And that expands your perspective.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I can jump in and champion what you just said, sir, my father had a 5th grade education. But when, I used to talk to him, back in the early 70s, my father had already been to places, via the Navy overseas. And this man had an understanding of longitude, latitude. My father was a mathematician. I was highly impressed with him. Hell, I can't go nowhere right now without a goddamn GPS.
No bull. Absolutely.
I'm not the man he used to be. Real talk. So again, man, salute to everything you've just said by way of why people should join the military. Yes, I don't know about the fighting, man, but
100%.
Yeah.
100%, and you're 100% right. I don't want I don't think black people should go in there becoming grunts. It's just doing the grunt work like the caller before you talk about infantry and shit. No, go in there with the guaranteed job, waiting so you're learning something that you would like to do once you get out, if you don't choose to do the 20, 25, 30 years. Yeah. And so you got to make, like you say, you have to go in with intention. Like you said, as far as referring to the white boys have guns for intention, you need to go in the military with an intention to use them, because if you don't, they're going to use you.
It's a whole fact. Yeah.
Okay. So again, young men, if you even have to just get a 2-year degree, you just get a 2-year college degree, that's enough to go in there for officer OTC, officer training, OTS, officer training school. Okay. And things like that. So you can use the military, the Air Force, particularly for where I was in, for your benefit. For your benefit, not just for their benefit.
Did you ever see any active service? You saw any active service?
Sir? Excuse me?
Did you ever see any active service?
Yeah, I'm compact eligible. Yeah, I was in Desert Watch, Desert Shield.
Okay. You dropped bombs on people. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No, I was searching. I was searching recovery.
Oh, okay. I appreciate you just the same, man. Salute.
My man.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Okay.